Now, the Hunt Palmer Show.
Yes! I feel like I've been waiting for this my entire life.
You're listening to the Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Jolly good fun. Jolly good.
Locking down the middle of the day.
America's favorite daytime fun show.
Live from the Raising Cane's studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
Hour 2, Tuesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Appreciate you hanging out with us. Sharief, Ishaq coming up in 30 minutes. LSU and Arkansas dealing with some injuries tonight in the Assembly Center. We'll briefly touch on that as well. We are going to start with baseball here in this segment and going to talk some relief pitchers. Now, this is going to be a segment that might not be for everybody because I know that right now is the biggest chasm of knowledge gap on this baseball team in terms of the fan base. There are some of y'all that have been so locked in on this since the fall, you know everything. You've read my preseason stuff at LouisianaSports.net. You and your buddies text about it. You have listened to Jay Johnson press conferences. You have listened to this show. You're checking out Musso at the Box every single day. Like, you're locked in. You know it all. And this will probably be a segment that you can really sink your teeth into. There are some of you that have never heard about some of the guys I'm about to talk about because you're going to go out to the Box on Sunday this week, and that'll be kind of the first time you've seen it, and you'll look forward to getting to know these guys as you watch them play. Neither one of those is the wrong way to be, but if you're in the second camp, this is going to be a lot of information. It's going to be like drinking out of a fire hose, okay? Because that is indicative of how many pitchers LSU has to work with on this team. I want to be clear about my feelings in the big picture and my sense of this current roster. The best way to go win a national championship is to have a dominant ace and a great number two. That's the best way to do it. In recent history, Anderson, Ianson, absolutely. You saw the two kids at Ole Miss, Hunter Elliott being one of them with Dylan DeLucia. Those two guys, they rode them to a championship. You saw, obviously, what Ty Floyd and Paul Skeens were able to do. Having that 1-2 is massive. It's massive in an SEC series. It's massive in a regional. It's massive in a super. It's massive in Omaha. We know that. It's not the only way. Tennessee didn't have it. I guess that was 2 years ago. And they got there with a great offense, good defense, and a pitching coach in Frank Anderson that did a really good job of managing things. I'm not telling you that LSU can't have a dominant 1-2. Evans, Schmidt, Moore, Williams. There are candidates to emerge as stars on this team. And if that happens, then I don't have anything to hypothesize about. You send them out there, you go win the games. If you got the stars, play the stars. Awesome. What if it doesn't quite work that way? What if your ace, your number two, your number three are good? Like, you can't get there with bad starting pitching. But what if they're just good arms? But instead, the dominance is not just Cade Anderson at the top. It's not just Anthony Ianson at the top. Because the odds are LSU's not going to have two of the top three strikeout guys in the nation on their staff this year. I hope they do. The odds are they don't. What if the dominance is actually the bullpen guys? What if LSU's best card to play in this baseball season is we've got 13 guys, trim that down, we've got 7 guys we think can handle you. We got 7 pitchers we think we can handle you with. That's what we're going to do. I've never seen it done. LSU's never been that way before. But there aren't a lot of teams that can stockpile talent like LSU can. So for the purposes of that discussion, I'm going to just give you an example of what that might look like on a weekend. Give you an example of what that might look like in an SEC weekend. And then I'll extrapolate on what it could mean in June later. Just work with me here. Kason Evans doesn't become the guy that you need out there for 119 pitches, just carving teams up. He just doesn't. He isn't that guy. But what did we see from him last year in 3-inning stints? What did we see from him last year in 4-inning stints? Dominance. What if he's really good for 5 innings? What if he's really good for 85, 90 pitches? Gives you 5 innings on a Friday. Well, here's what I would come behind him with. Okay, you got a couple tough lefties coming up. I think Ethan Plog is going to be a stud on this team from the left side. He throws the 6th inning on Friday. Maverick Rizzi, you've seen him. He throws like 99 miles an hour. He's 6'9". What if he comes out and gets you 6 outs? Now you're to the 9th. You okay giving the ball to Gavin Guidry at that point? I am. We've seen him do it in the past for 2 years. So Friday, Evans for 5, Plog for 1, Rizzi for 2, Guidry for 1. Okay. You've gotten 1 game in the rearview mirror. Let's, for the sake of the hypothetical, go with Cooper Moore in game 2. Another 5-inning start from Cooper Moore. He gives you 5. Where do you go from there? Santiago Garcia, good left-handed pitcher. Big breaking ball, was Oregon's best reliever down the stretch last year. He can get you 3 outs. Give me an inning. Devin Sheeran, that's a guy who throws 96, 97, big breaking ball. What if he gives me an inning after that? Then I've got to get 6 more outs. We think Jaden Newt can get 6 outs? He's throwing 95. He's got a devastating changeup. He's now an older player, a veteran, has pitched in some big spots. I don't see a huge problem with that. I've now gotten through 18 innings, and I go to Sunday. Cooper Williams. Can he give me 5 innings? Maybe it's 4, but for the sake, let's go 5. If he gives me 4, give me Zach Cowan for 3. If he gives me 5, give me Zach Cowan for 2. Either way, I'm through 7 innings. And I still have Grant Fontenot, who has found this renaissance. He looks phenomenal. He's throwing above 95 miles an hour. I asked a guy inside the program in December, I was like, what got into Fontenot? He's throwing it crazy. People just develop at different rates. But if Fontenot goes an inning, and oh, by the way, in this hypothetical, I haven't used William Schmidt yet either. There's the 9th inning on Sunday. Again, this is pie in the sky stuff, but just for the sake of of laying things out, I just gave you Evans, Plog, Rizzi, Guidry on Friday, Moore, Garcia, Sheeran, Newt on Saturday, Williams, Cowan, Fontenot, Schmidt on Sunday. And I got through all my innings. And I have not used DJ Primo, who threw 3 times in the NCAA tournament for LSU last year. Got 1 out all 3 times. I've not used Marcos Paz, who I think is going to be a star. He's right-handed. He throws 97. He's as talented a freshman pitcher as they have in the program. I think he's going to be a star. I didn't use him in this situation. Did not use Danny Lockenmeyer, left-hander from North Dakota State, who got 9 saves last year. I did not use Reagan Ricken, who's a talented freshman. I think he profiles as a starter in his career at LSU, but he's got to ease into that. I didn't use Connor Benj, who actually was one of LSU's primary bullpen guys until he lost command of the strike zone and lost his role last year. But, you have 5 guys there that I didn't even use in this scenario. And you used William Schmidt for 1 inning in this scenario. William Schmidt might be a 7-inning guy on game 2s. But, the point of the matter is, I never in this game that I just played, I did not throw a single freshman. I did not throw a single walk-on. I didn't use anybody twice. And I never asked for something completely unreasonable from anybody. 5 innings from 3 starting pitchers. And then I asked 3 guys to go 2 innings. Maverick Rizzi, Jaden Newt, Zach Cowan. They can do that. The point being, and college baseball is different than Major League Baseball, because in college baseball, generally speaking, your dudes are your dudes, and there aren't that many dudes, and you lean on your dudes. Go to LSU in Omaha last year, got to the championship series. Anderson for 9, Ianson for 7 2/3, Shores for 1 inning and a third, ball game. Your dudes. But in Major League Baseball, everybody's got a lot of dudes, so they just chop things up. Everybody pitched in short stints. You go all out. You throw 97. Done. And look, Evans can throw 95. Rizzy can throw 95. Sheeran can throw 95. Newt can throw 95. Fontenot can throw 95. Schmidt can throw 95. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys I trotted out there that throw 95 miles an hour plus. I'm leaning on veterans in Guidry and Cowan and Garcia and Newt. Left-handers, I've got 3 of them in this situation. Plog, Garcia, and Williams. It's the point is not that every weekend should work out exactly like that. The point is that it's not unreasonable to do the exercise. And generally speaking, we sit here in January and February and we overestimate how many arms LSU is going to actually use. In this case, I might be doing that. I might be just underestimating what LSU has in the starting rotation. And so maybe I'm wrong. But that's what this time of year is just for discussion. So to clarify, option 1 is for LSU to develop 3 great weekend starters. That almost never happens. It happened in 2017. Lang, Poche, Walker. That's the last time I remember that happening. You had the Landon Marceau, Mikhail Hilliard, AJ Labus teams, and but that wasn't what I'm talking about. Option 1 is to have 3 studs. Option 2 is to have 2 studs, figure out Sunday. That's usually how it works out. Usually. But there's an option 3 here that's like, okay, give me some guys who are good for 4 or 5 innings. And then depending on what the score is and who the opponent is and what the leverage situation in the game is, I'll determine when I want to use these good lefties, when I want to use these flame-throwing right-handers, when I want to use these veterans, and we'll just piece it together. It's not the way I want to do it. I'm not trying to say that. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel here or come up with a better option. I think it's a worse option. I don't think it's an impossible option. And I'm personally a little bit guarded about this rotation. A little bit. Not concerned, not terrified, not calling it a hole in the roster. I'm just like, well, I think they're good, but we'll see. Because we grade on the hardest curve in the sport here in Baton Rouge. What works for LSU, trying to win a championship in Omaha, doesn't necessarily... What works for a team that's not in that position doesn't work here. I'm trying to find the route to the championship level performance from the pitching staff. Maybe it's using the depth. Maybe the depth, instead of the 1-2 starting rotation, is the trump card for this team. You won't find out this weekend. Milwaukee's going to be overmatched. But it's something I'll keep an eye on. And I'm curious to see if it's a doable deal. I went through this exercise with Musso in our season preview that you can find on 104.5 ESPN's YouTube stream. So you can check that out. It's about an hour long. But I went through this exercise with him. He's not wild about it. I get it. But I don't think it's unreasonable. Just not preferable at this point. So we'll see. We'll talk Sharief Ishaq in 15 minutes. We'll come back, discuss injuries for the PMAC tonight. That's next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Let me tell you about my friends over at Lifetime Roofing. LifetimeRoofingLA.com is that website. Want financing? They got it. 0% up to 18 months. If you've got a deductible that's rather sizable and you're getting a new roof put on, they can finance that as well. How about this for Lifetime Roofing? As of January 1st, they are happy to give you a lifetime workmanship warranty, and that warranty includes, 1, the workmanship, obviously, but 2, the materials. And those materials are backed by CertainTeed, one of the oldest and most trusted names in building materials. So if you're looking for professional installation of gutters, sidings, and windows, they got that at Lifetime Roofing. And, of course, if you're looking for a new roof anywhere in the state of Louisiana, they can help you out with that. Roofs are important down here in our part of the world. You know there's always another hurricane season that is coming. Make sure your house is protected with that fortified roof from the folks at Lifetime Roofing. You can find them online at lifetimeroofingla.com. Lifetimeroofingla.com.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Time Time for you to start thinking about getting that new zero-turn mower. How about grabbing a Hustler from my friends at Gotros Outdoor Power? You've got options on where to buy your zero-turn mowers, right? There's reasons why you need to go with Gotros. They're locally owned and operated, family-owned and operated. When the customer service that they're going to provide to you is just going to be second to none. They've got trucks running all day, all over the state. They deliver both equipment and parts all over the state. You don't have a trailer and you want to purchase that new mower? That's all right. Gotros, they'll get it to you. You got an issue with some of your equipment? That's all right. Gotros will go. They'll pick it up. They'll bring it in. They'll handle things for you. That's what you don't get from the big box stores that you will get from Gotros Outdoor Power. Looking for financing on a mower? They can get you behind the wheel of a new mower for $100 a month. $100 a month. It's $75 a week just to get your grass cut in the summer, right? Check them out online at GotrosOnline.com. GotrosOnline.com. 2 locations, Baton Rouge and Gonzales. 22 years in business. Go check them out. It's Gotros Outdoor Power. All right, tonight in the PMAC, 8 o'clock, LSU and Arkansas. 2 teams that are going to be shorthanded tonight. LSU, of course, going to be without Deon Thomas, which is just become far, far too common at this point. He will miss the game. He's been ruled out. But also, Arkansas is going to be shorthanded in their backcourt. Not going to have DJ Wagner, who was a huge recruit when he signed with Kentucky under John Calipari, was the McDonald's All-American Game MVP. Has kind of found his way through Lexington into Fayetteville and has been a nice player with them. Not necessarily a star. Darius Acuff is that. But not necessarily a star, but he's been a good player. And then also, they're not going to have Carter Knox. Both guys have started 18 games this year, so you're talking about 2 starters coming out of the lineup for Arkansas. So that weakens Arkansas. The problem is that Arkansas has Darius Acuff. And like on Friday of last week, I gave you a reason maybe to go watch the game or to watch the game on TV because it was probably going to be high scoring, and Georgia scored a lot of points. Tonight, you're seeing one of the best players in the country in the PMAC. Darius Acuff is a star, and he was so good against LSU in Fayetteville. LSU in that game really handled themselves pretty well. It was that weird weather situation in Fayetteville, and still Hog fans got into Bud Walton Arena in reasonable numbers in that winter storm event. And LSU played well and had a lead in the second half and were right there in striking distance. They could not guard Acuff, and I don't see a way they're going to guard him tonight. Pablo Tomba's probably going to draw that assignment. He's got some length, but Acuff's he's just too good. And I think if I'm Matt McMahon tonight, I'm going to take Deon Thomas. Well, he's not on the floor. I'm going to take Darius Acuff, and I'm going to throw 2 guys at him and try to get him to give the basketball up, knowing that he doesn't have 2 of his best options on the wing to play with him. Is that going to work? We'll see. John Calipari's done a pretty good job with this Arkansas team. They played really, really well early in the season. It hasn't been as good of late, but LSU is basically in free fall. They've lost 4 games on their home floor in league play. Arkansas is 7-3 in the league. They have not been as good away from Bud Walton. At Bud Walton, they're 12-1. Away from Bud Walton, they are 5-5, 3-3 away from home and on the road, and then 2-2 in a neutral site. Arkansas's last time out back on Saturday, they lost to Houston. Sorry, that was a few Saturdays ago. They went to Mississippi State and won by 20. They lost at Kentucky the week before that in a game that was controlled by the Cats, basically start to finish. Mark Pope's team did a good job in Fayetteville. So, look, it's running out the string at this point for LSU. I'm not here to break down the ins and outs of the game. If you're a basketball fan, Darius Acuff is worth the price of admission for sure. There's an NBA scout that's going to be sitting in my seat on press row tonight because I'm going to be at Court to Table doing trivia. But we'll be watching the game at Court to Table, and you can come on by and hang out with us, win some gift cards, and watch the game. Darius Acuff will be great. If LSU's going to win this game, they're going to have to shoot it better. It's not like game-breaking breakdown. It's like not some sort of massive analytics win for me here. But if you go out there again and you go miss 16 threes in a row, which they did against Georgia, 16 in a row, well, you lose because they don't play great defense. Teams are going to score on them. Arkansas is going to score on them. And LSU can keep up on their good days, but you have to score and you have to make jump shots. And too often LSU hasn't done it. And the best shot creator on the team doesn't play very often. He's not going to play tonight. So it's a pair of shorthanded teams, a superstar on one side of the floor and an LSU basketball team that's just scratching, fighting, clawing, trying to get a win. I would sincerely guess that LSU will come out tonight and play very hard. PMAC will not be full. Team doesn't have a lot to play for, but I think they'll play hard. I just don't think they'll win because Arkansas is better than them, even without two starting guards, because LSU doesn't have their most important player. And I'm not trying to keep bringing that up to be like, oh, Hunt's making excuses, this and that. It's just a reality. Like he's their leading assist man and leading scorer, and they're an offensive team. So without him, it's tough. You're going to need a great game from McKinnon on the wing, and hopefully Acuff doesn't shoot it very well. But my guess is things will not be super chummy in the Maravich Center tonight. Lose your fifth conference home game, just that just says a lot. And the schedule's not gonna ease up a lot moving forward either. You still got to play Tennessee. You still got to play Alabama. It's just not a pleasant time here for hoops. So we'll leave hoops right there in the rearview mirror. We'll step aside and come back and chat Saints with Sharief Ishaq when we come back.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC, FabryChevrolet.com is that website. Highway 61 in St. Francisville. It's truck month there in St. Francisville. It's truck month at Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Up to 11,000 off Silverados, 1.9% APR financing, 13,000 off of MSRP for GMC Sierras, 0.0 financing. And on the service side, they service all makes in the service department as well. So whether you're looking for a new vehicle, looking for a pre-owned vehicle, or just want to get some service done to your vehicle, Fabry Chevrolet GMC should be your first call and your first stop. They're on Highway 61 in St. Francisville. You can make the short drive from Baton Rouge, north of Baton Rouge, and Feliciana's or Point Capee. Go see them at Fabry Chevrolet GMC. The entire inventory, all of it, is online at FabryChevrolet.com. That's FabryChevrolet.com.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Moving right along here on a Tuesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. We'll head out to Jim's Firearms Hotlines now. Chat with Sharief Ishaq, WDSU down in New Orleans. Sharief, how we doing?
Good, Hunt. How are you?
Doing quite well. Let's go like super big picture here on the Saints. I did a segment in my first hour talking about ESPN, Fox, and Sporting News ranking the Saints coming out of this season between 25th and 26th in the NFL in terms of the season they just had. Where do you see the Saints right now, big picture, in the landscape of the NFL based on their record, their finish, the quarterback, the new coach? Like, I'm not asking specifically, but like generally speaking, where are they?
I think it's fair to say that they're in the 20s. I would say like around that 22 to 26 range. I mean, that's fair. I mean, I know they finished really strong, and I'm just basing it on how the season finished and how strong they were able to close out. Yeah, I mean, I think that's fair. I'm going to go 22 to 25. I mean, that's pretty much about as fair as I can be, because I don't know what this team is like against good teams. I don't know what it's like 17 games into a season, a 9-game stretch with Tyler Sharp. We'll probably put it around, I would say, 22 to me. I mean, and I know there's like 10 more teams, and they finished, with the 9th worst record. So I think that's fair. I mean, that truly is fair. I mean, so they're right around the same place as I'm at.
So what's realistic for 2026? Like, where should they finish in those power rankings in 2026?
So I kind of looked at it this way. I know this might be a little bit of a crazy comparison. When Dan Campbell took over the Lions, how they made steady improvements, and they got better players, better playmakers, and Jared Goff got better and better. The coaching got better. So I think if they can go from 6 to around 8, 9 wins, that'll put them right around that, 17, 18, 19 range. So if they can jump up, let's just say if I give them 22 this year and they jump up to 17, that's 5 more spots. That should be around 2 or 3 more wins to me, in my opinion. That should get them around that 15 mark right there, 17 mark. So, I mean, I think that's, realistic goal for them. They have one of the easier, if not the easiest schedules next year. And you expect them to add some good free agents, to add a decent draft. Once again, you had to hope that. And maybe some of your star veterans come back and play one more year. And that'll get you to that 17 range, and you have it 8-9 or 9-8.
That's really modest, Sharief. Like, seriously, I would imagine most Saints fans drinking the Kool-Aid of that last month are going, no, we can win 10 or 11 games next year. We can be in the top 15, in the top 12.
Well, I'm just trying to be realistic.
Okay.
I'm trying to, not be a fan. I'm not trying to be a fan. I'm optimistically realistic. That's what I'm trying to be. I'm trying to make that Detroit Lions jump, where you go from 6 wins to about 9 wins. And then after that, you can get to the 10 to 12 win season in year 3 under Tyler Shuck, which would get them 2027, and that's the year I've been telling you going into that season where they have a lot of money and able to perform and get to that double-digit win.
So that's interesting because that sets it up pretty clearly. You think they can be on the high end a contender in the NFC in 2027? That's a reasonable expectation for a Saints fan to have. Would you share that?
Yeah, they can be realistically a top 4 team in the NFC in 2027. Next year, they can realistically compete for the NFC South and sneak into the playoffs. Now, I'm not saying they're a top 4 team in the NFC because you know how the NFC South is just going to get that one home game because of the division. But I truly think that they can compete for the South next year, and then the year after that, they can compete as a top 3 or 4 team in the NFC as a whole and maybe win a playoff game or 2.
So with that in mind, now you take your thought on this offseason, and there's a thought that, okay, maybe Shuck's emergence accelerates things a little bit, but then there's also a wait, you don't want to burn it into overdrive here. Be cautious. So what does that look like for you over the next 3 months?
For me, it's you got to temper the expectations. You have to be careful with Tyler Shuck, and you have to also make sure you build around him the right way. You don't want to set all these expectations. You make all these people happy that he was at the Super Bowl week. He was a finalist for Rookie of the Year, and then now you're thinking, oh my God, we have to be that team that wins 10 to 12 games next year, which would be awesome if they surpass what I say and do that in year 2. But you have to seriously set those expectations to be realistic. So I think they have to take it in levels, take it in steps, and make sure you build to where you can see those steps being taken. You want to make sure that they don't take any steps back. You don't want to make sure you have any long-term injuries. So I think that it all starts with like I keep saying, it has to be the interior of that line. You show up that interior of the line, and then you start thinking about, all right, maybe we are going to be good because now Tyler is back there looking even more comfortable. And if you make him comfortable, the team becomes comfortable, and then those win totals start to rack up. So I think you have to take that cautiously optimistic approach in order to continue making those strides in this franchise. I just don't think you should set such high expectations going into this next season.
Demario Davis and Cam Jordan were out in San Francisco for various reasons back last week for Super Bowl week. What did you gather from their appearances, their comments as we enter the offseason, and they're in very similar situations, being 37 years old come the kickoff of next year and coming off great seasons?
Well, chasing down Cam Jordan was hard because he had a lot of obligations. We didn't get a chance to talk to Cam Jordan. Quite a few of us were chasing him down, but he was just so busy. He was like, I'm trying to get to y'all. We never got a chance to talk to him, had a chance to talk to Benjamin Watson and Demario Davis. Demario Davis just put us in and said, hey, look, I love New Orleans. No matter what, I'm a New Orleanian pretty much. I'm going to do everything inside this community. Whatever happens here, he's like, I want to be here. I want to be here. I want to finish my career with the Saints. And he understands there's a business aspect to it. And maybe the Saints don't come to the table with what he wants to hear. But maybe no other team comes to the table with what he wants to hear. And he's left with a decision. Does he want to go to the bet? Is it going to be the better the devil you know than the devil you don't? Or do you just say, all right, just, going to try something new, even though it's the same amount of money? But to me, if I think it's equal playing field in terms of a contract, I don't see him not finishing his career in New Orleans. And it feels like just listening to him, he wants to be here. Mostly because of what he said this past offseason, that he wants to help get this team, this franchise, where it once upon a time was. He said it's like a 3-year process. That was year 1. This year would be year 2. And the year after that would be year 3. I think he wants to be a part of that build. And you can continue to ask him those questions, and you can kind of hear it in his voice. That's what he wants to do. He wants to make sure that he leaves this franchise better than he found it, or better than it was in his previous 5 seasons. And my gut tells me that I just think he's just so important that you have to have him back. That's that position where they need to keep having some consistency and a playmaker there, because outside of DeMario, I mean, at times it's tough. It really is tough. So I think that he's back, and I think Cam Jordan's back. I do think Cam Jordan's back at least one more year.
Do we? Completely lost my train of thought there. Sharief Ishaq's our guest, WDSU in New Orleans. Oh, Derek Carr. There's a reason that just wasn't front of mind. Do we think the Saints are going to end up getting something for Derek Carr, who comes back to the NFL?
The teams are going to be desperate, man. They got some teams out there who desperately need a veteran quarterback presence, even though the quarterback class in free agency is not great, and the draft class isn't that great. So what I'm thinking is, you know what, Derek Carr might be able to net you like a 5th and a 7th, maybe a 4th and a 7th. I don't know. I mean, he can still play a little bit. I mean, he's a veteran quarterback who's been there, done that. Not the greatest of numbers, but still, he could still get you something, maybe a 5th and a 7th. I mean, I guess if you got a 5th and a 7th or a 4th and a 7th, you should be
If they
happy.
got 2 picks for him, I'd do a backflip.
Yeah, I mean, but in 5th and a 7th, I mean, that really.
It's
really
better
is
than
hard.
nothing. The alternative is nothing. I'll take a 5th and a 7th over nothing all day.
You got to understand, Hunt, teams are going to be desperate this offseason.
Yeah.
Because the draft class and the free agency class is just so weak. I mean, look at the Steelers. Who are they going to roll with? I mean, who are the Raiders going to roll with outside of Fernando Mendoza? I mean, there are a lot of teams that are going to be hungry for quarterbacks this offseason that need a veteran quarterback. And you're just thinking, man, we are in a good spot. If Derek Carr was to come back, we can pretty much ask for at least a 5th-round pick. And if you get a 7th and a 5th and a 7th, that's like, all right, that's awesome. But if you just get a 5th and a 6th or a 6th, whatever, he already saved you money last year. You got something for him this year. So I think that they I truly think if he comes back, that I think they're going to get something that's decent for them.
How much work you got to do to this weekend? How much work you have next Tuesday?
All right, so this weekend, I usually take off Saturday and Sunday, but I decided that, enough Endymion Saturday, plus it looks like it's going to rain, so I let Kendall have Saturday off.
Okay.
Sunday, Bacchus Sunday is my favorite day, so I'm always off on Bacchus Sunday. And then Tuesday, I work. This year, I get the awesome assignment of working and being live on the Zulu float this year, so it's my first time.
Oh, on the float. I see you, Sharief. All right. Well, we'll give you a rain check next week on Tuesday, but enjoy some time off this weekend, and Mardi Gras on Tuesday. We'll talk in a couple of weeks.
You got it, Hunt.
Sharief Ishaq, WDSU down there in New Orleans. Of course, it is Mardi Gras weekend in the Big Easy. You think the Palmer fam's going to make an appearance uptown on Sunday for Toth is what it appears is going to happen for us. Then right on back to BR. That will cause me to miss some baseball, but I'm going to try to get to baseball on Saturday. That was the plan. Now the weather looks terrible on Saturday. Opening day is during my show. All kinds of problems, but I think I am going to get out there on Wednesday. Not Wednesday, on Monday of next week, because my show ends at 3. The game's at 3. I can be at the box for like 3:15. So that's probably the first game that I'll get to see in its entirety.
Time out. 3:15.
Yeah, I can get to the box at 3:15, no problem.
From like immediately after this show.
Yeah.
Ain't no way.
Absolutely.
Ain't no way.
I
Like
can be-
parking too? Like, you must got like a parking spot.
Yeah,
like-
I got a parking pass for the
okay,
media
okay,
deal.
okay,
yeah,
okay.
so yeah, that won't be. I just zip right down Nicholson. I'm there.
Okay. I'm like, and you find it like, yep. Okay. I didn't know you had a parking spot. I'm like, okay, well that makes sense. I'm like, just
No tailgating, no super fun for me during LSU sporting events, but convenience.
okay.
I get some of that. I
No.
get some convenience. I get some free food that's also pretty mediocre, but just no tailgating and fun. But convenience, I get. So you take what you can get. So I'll be at the box in some capacity at some point over the course of the next few days. Just not exactly sure when. So let me tell you about Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge. SwingEasyGCBR.com is the website. Awesome spot. I mentioned it might rain on Saturday. Well, that doesn't matter. You can still play golf. Maybe the course would be damp on Sunday and you don't really want to be out there. You can play at Swing Easy Golf Club. Just go book a tee time, get one of those private bays. They'll bring you a bucket of beers, fire up Pebble Beach. They're playing Pebble Beach this week on the PGA Tour. You can play it while the tour players play it at Swing Easy Golf Club. You hit your drives, hit your approach shots, you chip and putt, the whole deal, card a score, compete with your friends, or go work on your game by yourself. It's a great place to go hang out, incorporate a little golf into your weekend, even if the weather is not super awesome. Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge, or Segan at Perkins, online at swingeasygcbr.com. We'll come back and close up shop. It is a Tuesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Highland Insurance Group, HighlandIG.com, HighlandIG.com. Jonathan Carbo and his team, phenomenal folks in the insurance game, commercial, property, and casualty. They've got you covered. If you're a business owner, you're not sure what a co-insurance penalty is. You're not sure what your deductible is. You're not sure what EPL insurance is or what actually constitutes a cyber breach that would be covered by insurance. You're not sure if all your employees are properly rated on workers' comp. You just know what you pay. If that's the case, might want to get a second set of eyeballs on that policy. The Highland Insurance Group employs just a crew of technical experts. They know what they're looking for. They know what carriers like which businesses. They've got clients in your line of work, and they can make it work for you and make sure that not only is the price right, but the coverage is right too, so that when one of your employees clicks that email they're not supposed to, you're covered. When there's a car accident, you're covered. When that hurricane comes through and you can't get into the office for a week, you are covered. That's what they're here for at the Highland Insurance Group. Find them online at HighlandIG.com, HighlandIG.com.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Moving towards the finish line here on a Tuesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. LSU in Arkansas tonight in the PMAC at 8 o'clock. 7 o'clock is pregame. It'll be Voice of the Tigers, Chris Blair and John Brady courtside at the Assembly Center. You can listen to that on Eagle 98.1. And you can go. I would encourage you to go watch LSU in Arkansas tonight. If you don't, and you are looking for something to do, we'll be at Court at the Table at the same time. 8 o'clock, we'll be there. Sports trivia. We'll have the game on TV, so if you want to watch LSU in Arkansas, you can. Eat their great food, delicious drinks, win some gift cards. You can win $25 in every round. There are 5 rounds, so plenty of gift card cash up for grabs at Court to Table. We're on Burbank, so grab a team. Come by yourself. Come hang out on Tuesdays. We'll be there watching the Tigers, winning gift cards, delicious drinks, great food. Always festive time there on Tuesday. Looking forward to getting out to Court to Table this evening on Burbank. Lots that we got to on the show today. Talked to LSU football at the top of the show. Had a couple of different Saints segments today. You can find our Saints content online at Hunt on Saints. You can also find our LSU content, Hunt on LSU. Talk some baseball in hour number 2 as well. Relief pitching and kind of how I think this thing could shake out if 2 dominant starters don't emerge. It's not the preferred way to do it, but it's potentially a way to do it. So we'll see kind of how things move forward in this college baseball season that starts up on Friday. We have traditionally done opening day out at the box on this show. Decided against that this year, so I'm going to be on from 1 to 3 as normal. First pitch at 2 o'clock. So we'll do a lot of pregame baseball talk on Friday from 1 to 2, and then I'll shift into some football stuff and some basketball in the second hour as LSU and Milwaukee get underway from the box. It's a wraparound weekend, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday for LSU this weekend. If you want to get out there and see the Tigers, get 4 chances on the first weekend. They also are back in action on Wednesday, where they go to Jacksonville to take on Indiana, Notre Dame, and Central Florida over in that Peak Events tournament from Jacksonville. So that's kind of a bit of housekeeping here on this Tuesday. Now one more order of business. Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it. Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Today's hottest stories in sports, news, and sometimes even Hunt's life. The question is, will he take them or leave them?
All right, so head coach Mike Vrabel came out today and said that New England is committed to Will Campbell at left tackle. And Vrabel said, and I quote, "Will is 22 years old. He's our left tackle. He'll get better. He'll get stronger. There are moments he played well. There are moments he blocked the guy. There are plays that he would like to have back. So is keeping Will Campbell at left tackle the right move? Take it or leave it.
I'll take it for now. As he mentioned, he's 22. I can't tell on the internet what's real and what's fake at this point, and I didn't put a lot of stock into it, that he might have had a knee injury.
Oh, no. So he did. So it came out today that Campbell said that he tore his meniscus or something. That's what he had earlier.
You know what's not great? Trying to block all-pro pass rushers with torn meniscuses. Yeah. So I think Will be fine. If he has to settle at right tackle or if he has to settle at left guard, it's possible. He's a really talented player. He's a great dude, a great guy in the locker room. He handled himself, I think, pretty well in the media. I said yesterday, I wish he would have spoken to the media after the game. I'm not going to, torture him for not. But I think, as a rookie, he acquitted himself okay. He's just got to get better. I mean, rookies tend to get better.
Yeah, so Charles Bediako, college career is over again after after Alabama circuit judge denied his motion for a preliminary injunction Monday, ending the 7-footer's career with the Crimson Tide. So is this a step in the right direction? Take it or leave it.
I mean, I'll take it, I guess.
But
it's such a ridiculous step that we had to take in this direction because we took a guy from the G League and put him on a college team, which was ludicrous to everyone involved, including Nate Oates, who was like, "Yeah, I mean, probably not the greatest idea, but what am I supposed to do?" Like,
I'm trying to win.
And look, if they say that's within the rules, what am I to say? I'm not a big Nate Oates guy. I think everyone's well aware of that. In fact, of all the coaches in the SEC in every sport, he's last on my list.
Really?
But yes.
Really?
You tell my coach to GTFO, I'm not going to forgive you for that anytime soon. Plus the fact he just looks like an angry man all the time.
He's hyped up. He's hyped
all
up.
the time.
Yeah.
So it's just not. He coaches at Alabama. He wins a lot. He's yelled at my team. There's too many ingredients here that are going to send me the other way. I hope he's a great husband, father, grandfather, whatever on the basketball floor. I wish him no success whatsoever.
Yeah, this is ridiculous to say the least. I mean, and then I know you heard the chant, but it was like, G League, drop out.
Yep.
I'm going to be real hot. I might have started crying. You might have got a tear out of me on the bench or something. That would have hurt my feelings. But all right. So Darren Peterson. So this is an interesting situation. Darren Peterson.
Yeah, I don't know what happened here. I know that there is news from this game.
Well,
he's really good.
Oh, I mean, he might be the number one pick. So he might go as the number one pick. But an hour before tip-off, versus number one Arizona last night, it came out that he has flu-like symptoms after being seen warming up, and he was on the bench during the game. And if you know the flu, it's contagious.
It is a little contagious,
so that's kind of weird to say the least. So, but this isn't the first time that Peterson has sat out. He sat out against BYU the second half, and he's sat out other games this year from cramps and stuff like that. So should NBA teams be worried about selecting Peterson number one right now? This is his issue. Take it or leave it.
I'm going to leave it. I think the NFL, the NBA teams will do some chatting with Bill Self. They'll figure some things out. But I mean, it was a weird situation. I don't know exactly what happened, but he's a heck of a talent, and he'll play when the games matter most. I can promise you. But the flu thing got me all. My wife, who is a nurse,
yes,
you would think the flu was just knocking on our door. We have to come in. It's like the whole family has visited Chernobyl. When we leave the house, you come in, shoes off, wash your hands.
Gotta put a mask on.
I mean, it's
Lord.
like the flu. It's just constant. And of course, we haven't gotten it this year. Got to get the flu shot.
Season.
Whatever. I don't think I've ever gotten the flu before. So famous last words, I guess.
Yeah, I'm about to say, don't say that.
She doesn't mess around with the flu too much. So whenever I heard that, I can tell you this. She would not have had either of our sons on the Kansas bench last night if there's a guy that potentially had the flu.
That's what I'm just saying, man. Everybody knows the flu is contagious, so if this guy had flu-like symptoms, wouldn't a coach want his team not to get sick? So let's remove him from the team. So I don't know, man. Darren Peterson, he's a talent. He's special. This kid kind of plays like Kobe. It's hard to even say that about somebody. Like he plays like Kobe Bryant, but I mean his shot making at this age is unreal. But I think it's going to be interesting to see how March Madness plays. I'll say that. So that's it for Taking the Lead.
All right, that's it on this Tuesday. Tomorrow's show, excited. I'm going to give you my bold predictions for LSU baseball. I haven't put a ton of thought into that yet, so I'm going to write it for LouisianaSports.net, talk about it on the show tomorrow. But I'll get into it, and we'll certainly keep those pinned for a while, and we'll go back and revisit them mid-season at the end of the year and see how they go. But we'll do that. Cookie Riley going to stop by for his now weekly segment. He covers the baseball team for The Advocate. We'll do What If Wednesday tomorrow as well. So lots to do as we're inching closer and closer to game day for LSU baseball. Of course, we'll have a reaction to LSU and Arkansas tonight. I'll write that up post-game at louisianasports.net. Tigers and Hogs. This morning, I haven't checked since this morning when I wrote, but this morning LSU was a 5.5-point dog in the game. Two of Arkansas's starting guards will not play. De'Don Thomas will not play either. So compromised teams in the PMAC tonight, but we'll have a coverage of it on louisianasports.net. We'll talk about it tomorrow, as well as some Saints and LSU that will wrestle up one way or another. Hope to see you tonight at Court to Table on Burbank. Very excited to do sports trivia out there. 8 o'clock, so come see us. We'll be watching LSU hoops tonight at Court to Table. That's it for me. Matt's going to drive you home next on After Further Review. Everybody have a safe and wonderful Tuesday evening. We're back tomorrow for a Wednesday edition. Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Boudreaux's Electrical Services. BoudreauxElectrical.com is the website. Looking for a home standby Generac generator? The folks at Boudreaux's Electrical are the first place you need to go. Why? Well, they've been at this 40 years. Neil and Melissa have been running this show for 40 years. They're locally owned, family operated, and they're happy to help you. If you've gotten a Generac home standby generator from Boudreaux's Electrical, you know what kind of customer service comes with that. They monitor your Boudreaux's Electrical Generac generator 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They know when there is a malfunction and a problem, so they can come out and fix it. And you know that if you have one. If you've bought a Generac generator from someone else and you're not thrilled with the customer service you're receiving, well, get the Boudreaux Boost. You can go ahead and become part of that team and have Boudreaux service the generator even though you didn't purchase it from them. If you don't have a generator, what are you waiting for? You know the power goes out around here. Give yourself the peace of mind to know it's not going to happen to you. Check them out online at BoudreauxElectrical.com.